Hey everybody, Bill and Deb.
Hi there.
Well, you know what? The weather is finally starting to improve. I think it's at least 40 degrees out there right
I
now.
think it's a little higher than that.
You think so? Well, good.
Because I just took the trash out.
Ah, well, today is Monday, right?
Today is Monday.
Yeah. And we pull out of here headed south towards Florida.
6 more days.
Yeah, next Sunday. Got a few things we got to do between now and then. Still got to get a couple new tires for the
Get new
van.
tires. Of course,
Yeah.
spend a day with the kids.
Yeah, actually, from what I just heard this morning, it's going to end up being a couple of days. Well, at least with Melinda, part of it, you know.
Well,
you know.
one day is just
Yeah.
girl day. The other
Okay.
day is cooking day.
So, on Girl Day, I have to do something else. Is
That's
that
right.
right?
You need to spare.
Yeah. Anyway, what we thought we would talk about today, we talk about a question that we get asked a lot. As you know, we've been doing a lot of walkthrough videos, I'm sure, and the first thing we want to say about that is thank you so much.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
For all of the wonderful response to all of these walkthrough videos that we've been doing that were all filmed at the last Tiny House Adventures Rendezvous.
And of course, thank you for the people that designed and built.
Absolutely. No kidding. But the one question that we get asked a lot on all of these, and I will say this before we move on to that, we still have 2 more walkthrough videos to go. So, and they will be, coming up here in the next few days or so, or in the next couple of weeks or whatever, but still have 2 more of those to go. But the one question that we get asked a lot on these is, how much does the trailer weigh? And then the next question is, what are you towing it with? Now, believe it or not, the vast majority of all these that we do walkthrough videos on, the folks have never weighed the trailers.
No.
No, and we're guilty of that too.
Yes.
So unfortunately, you're probably not going to get the answer that you would like to get today.
We know what it weighed when we bought it.
Right.
And we've kind of tried to keep track of what we put here
Right.
and here and here
Right.
and here.
And I know there's particular reasons why everybody asks this. One reason could be, are you comparing the weight of a converted cargo trailer to a comparable in size commercially available toy hauler or commercially available RV? That's one thing. The other thing is, will the vehicle that I'm driving now tow the rig?
Tow something similar.
Yeah, or tow something similar to what you just saw built. As far as I know, only one person actually had weighed their vehicle, and that was the ones that did the handcrafted vintage-looking trailer. Yeah, because they actually mentioned it, how much it weighed.
Yes, he did, and Diana measured hers as well.
That's true.
'Cause she
Diana.
she had a particular vehicle.
So, what we're going to talk about today is, how do I put this? The weights of these trailers, it is what it is. And first off, probably what we need to talk about first is the weight of a typical cargo trailer when you pick it up ready to do your build.
Empty.
Yeah, empty. Ready to go.
Bare bones.
And basically what I did, I pulled this off of a website, and I found this to be true. And this website that I pulled it off of, I went to Southern Trailer Depot, which is a cargo trailer broker out of Douglas, Georgia. And they are not a manufacturer now, they are a broker, which when you buy a trailer out of Douglas, Georgia, there's several different brokers, there's 2 or 3 different manufacturers, maybe more than that, I don't know. But even though our trailer came from Rock Solid, we did not buy the trailer from Rock Solid. We bought the trailer through a broker.
Right.
And Southern Trailer Depot is a good company to deal with. We bought 2 trailers from them in the last few years.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, you had to think about that for a minute.
Yes, I was which one? What?
Yeah. And if you do happen to contact Southern Trailer Depot about a trailer, ask for Jerry Merritt. Jerry Merritt will follow up on your phone calls. He takes his job seriously, and he will follow up. Now, enough of that. But if you contact Southern Trailer Depot to get a price on a trailer, ask to speak to Jerry Merritt. But here we go. And I pulled this off of their website. And all you have to do is go into southerntrailerdepot.com and then tap on the menu. And down on the menu, there will be a one that says trailer weights / specifications. And then tap on that. And then it will list basic trailer weights of all different sizes of trailers. And what I did, I pulled three of the most popular sizes. I pulled a 6x12 single axle, a 7x16 tandem axle, and an 8.5x20 tandem axle. And a 6x12 single axle trailer typically will weigh empty when you pick it up around 1,200 pounds. And the tongue weight will be 180 pounds. A 7x16 tandem axle will weigh around 2,260 pounds. And the tongue weight will be right at 339 pounds, right in that ballpark, 339, 340, something like that. An 8.5x20 will weigh 3,200 pounds empty. And then the tongue weight, starting tongue weight before you do anything else, will weigh right at 480 pounds. So that's basically on the three most popular trailers that we see more of than anything else. That is your basic starting out weights and tongue weights of those trailers. Now, of course, depending on your build, it'll determine how heavy it's going to end up in the end.
Exactly.
And the only thing that I can really talk about with ours is we were really careful to try to keep it as light as possible and still have all the things that we wanted in it.
Right, because because we're full time.
Yeah.
So we have specific needs that we need for just the day-to-day living.
Right. Because you're right, because we live in it.
We're full time. It's different.
And those kind of trailers will end up being slightly heavier than, say, one that you just have set up for weekend camping.
Exactly.
Now, in our particular trailer, when we're still not completely done, but we're done enough with the trailer to get certain measurements. And we did get a tongue weight measurement here a while back.
And we were a little bit surprised.
We were a little surprised. In fact, we did a video about it. Our tongue weight is right at 950 pounds, right in that ballpark. So, we added another 450 pounds or so in addition to what the tongue weight started out at. Okay. Now, you see this refrigerator back here. Well, that refrigerator weighs 100 pounds, empty, when we picked it up. That's what it's rated at, is right at 100 pounds, 10 cubic foot refrigerator. The thing to keep in mind is when you go to fill that thing up, you're going to easily add another 100 pounds.
Now, remember all those groceries you lugged in?
Right. And so that's what we've got going on here. Now, you can't see it here, but of course we have the cabinets over here to the left. Now, the cabinets, I had these made by a cabinet maker because he used lightweight materials. These cabinets, this got a 4-foot on this side and a 36-inch one on this side. They probably were doing good to weigh 35, 40 pounds each, But then again, think about all the stuff that's in these cabinets, like all of our silverware.
Canned goods.
All the canned goods, everything.
Pans.
That's in it. Yeah.
Cleaning supplies.
And the thing about it is, you can't not carry this stuff, especially if this is your home.
No.
You got to have this stuff. So that comes into play. And it goes right back to what I'm saying is, it is what it is. You just try to build it as light as possible. Now, the way that we tried to save weight on this particular trailer, there's not a single 2x4 in the entire trailer, not a one. When we framed our bed, all that framing is done with 2x2s, and we framed it basically the same way someone would frame a house, with a top and bottom plate. Made all of our walls and had a top and bottom plate, and then we had an additional top plate on top of that tied everything in together. Even though it was all built out of 2x2s, it still came out very, very, very strong. And of course, in our particular trailer, we laid it out so that the bed and all of the brains of the trailer, you might say, is built under the bed. Our battery bank is under the foot of the bed in one sealed compartment on the foot of the bed. In the middle compartment is where our 65-gallon freshwater tank is. In the other compartment that's up near the headboard, and these are all divided equally in thirds, from one end to the other, that is where our 65-gallon gray water tank is, and also our 7-gallon water heater. That's where all that stuff is.
And we put all that there because that's right over the axles.
Exactly. Exactly. We tried to, because, those are fairly heavy items right in there. So we tried to move as much weight as we could on top of the center axle, the axle center line.
Get that terminology
You know,
correct.
and the only petition we have in this entire trailer is a 5 foot wall that divides the bathroom area from the rest of the trailer. And we didn't put a door in there. And the wall itself, it's 6 inches deep. Now, we didn't, here again, we built that out of a series of 1x2s and 2x2s. Imagine making 6 inch wide ladders, and you've got your 1x2s on either side as the uprights of your ladder. And then you have these 2x2s in between that make the ladder rungs. Well, that's the way we built that wall. And basically for two main reasons. One, it would be easier to run the plumbing and the electrical and stuff that we had to run in there. And the other thing is the thing doesn't weigh very much at all. And here again, it was to try to keep weight down. Now, so the basic construction, we tried to build this as light as we could. And we feel like, we did a pretty decent job of that. We might have been able to save 50, 60 pounds here and there with little things like the platform that we built around the bed. We did make that, the steps themselves that we walk on, we did make that out of 5/4 decking material, which is a full 1 inch thick. And it's a high density pine that they use for that. But that's probably the heaviest dimensional lumber in the entire trailer. And again, it is setting over the axle center line. All that stuff is over the axle center line. So, but then you take into consideration, in addition to that, and I'm telling you all this for a reason, and I'm going to get to that here in just a little bit. But then you take into consideration all the other things that we carry that you don't even think about that adds weight to a trailer. The one reason why I'm wearing this jacket right now, I used to be a big Dale Earnhardt fan, Dale Earnhardt Sr. And of course, after he was killed at Daytona several years ago, I just couldn't bring myself to watch NASCAR that much after that. But when I saw the jacket available on a trip one time and it happened to fit me, I bought it. Now, this jacket, you think, hey, it's just a jacket, right?
Just a jacket. It's really not even a heavy jacket.
No.
It's just a jacket.
No. We weighed it a minute ago. I weighed myself. I'm not going to tell you how much I weighed, but I weighed myself first, and then I picked up the jacket and held it and weighed myself again. This jacket weighs almost 3 pounds. 3 pounds.
Yeah.
This jacket
and
here.
This jacket only takes up this much room in the closet.
Yeah.
But the closet is full. It's this wide.
Well, they're looking at a photo right
Okay.
now of my closet open, and how we've got the clothes crammed in there. And of course, yours on the other side of the bed
is exactly
crammed the same way.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the shelf that we have above the headboard is all full of extra clothes like socks and underwear, work shirts. I keep I have like 4 or 5 pairs of sweats. I keep all them up in there, and all of that stuff adds up. Not to mention,
all of
the stuff that we have in the kitchen, that has our dishes and our,
dishes and miscellaneous things like you would keep in a pantry. I mean, I've got stuff in that container that's actually pretty heavy. And then snack box and bread box and...
Now, we know that this trailer started out right around 3,200 pounds. And now we did weigh stuff as we went and tried to keep a total on that. And as near as we could figure, all of the components that we put in here weighed in roughly 2,000 to 3,000 pounds, somewhere in there. Then you add all the extra stuff that we carry. So we're probably looking at this trailer weighing, 65 to 7, maybe. One of these days I will get it weighed, and I'll let you know if I was right in that estimate or not. But here's one thing that I do know. Now, this particular trailer also, we got the 5,200 pound axles rather than the standard 3,500 pound axles. Now, theoretically, that would mean that since it has 5,200 pound axles, we could actually load this thing up where the trailer would weigh upwards of 10,400 pounds altogether.
Well, we hope not.
Yeah. No, we're not even anywhere near that. And I just know that because of the way we're able to pull it and the way we're able to go down the road. Now, how do I say this? Okay, one thing that I did do I did, and you're looking at a photo right now with the tires. If you look closely at the tires, they're not squishing. They're not acting like they're under a lot of heavy weight, as it's sitting here. The springs themselves on the trailer aren't compressed by any means whatsoever. In fact, I have to be real careful going over speed bumps and things like that. I'll look back there and the trailer will be bouncing pretty decent because we're nowhere near the capacity of the springs on this trailer. So, yeah, I want to know how much it weighs. And I'm sure that all the other people that we do these walkthroughs would, really like to know how much their trailers weigh.
It's just not a convenient thing to do.
Well, and it's difficult. And in our case, when we're getting ready to make another run, it just takes too much time out of the day for us to pull over and wait to get this thing weighed. And if we want to do it right, we should weigh the van first by itself without the trailer hooked up. Then we need to hook onto the trailer and pull back up on there and just have the van sitting on the scales and get a weight, because that will tell us what our tongue weight is to the nth. And then, pull the whole thing on, and then we simply do simple
and we don't have
mathematics stuff, and we just don't have time to do that.
Or we don't want to take the time.
But I do know this, that when I'm going down the road, I can easily cruise with no problem, faster than Deb wants me to go.
Exactly. It's my home.
Yeah. And when we get, because it's a gas motor, it's not a diesel, when we get into steep inclines and things like that, she bogs down a little bit. But we don't push it. We've never had trouble. We've climbed some pretty steep inclines in Arkansas, and believe it, folks, we got some, it's not like
going to California.
Yeah, it's not like driving, and going down I-40 and hitting those long passes, where you go for miles and miles and miles before you get to the top. But still, she does pretty darn good towing it. So I know that I'm not anywhere near, total weight capacity of this trailer. I feel reasonably certain that I'm within a certain weight range. But back to this again. We built this thing as light as we possibly could have, unless if we would have went with 80/20 aluminum framing, and honestly, we can't afford that.
We can't afford that.
For all of our stuff on the inside. But we still built it as light as we possibly could, and we also tried to lay it out where we had a lot of the weight over the axle center line. We still have plenty of tongue weight, believe me. I have no sway, no nothing going down the road or nothing like that. Now, I know a lot of people ask these questions because of the other reason that we talked about. They're trying to figure if their rig will pull this particular trailer. And I'm going to go back to a conversation I had with my brother one time. And he was looking real seriously into buying a commercially available RV, and this thing weighed like 4,800 pounds, and he was telling me he says, I've got a Jeep Grand Cherokee and it's rated to tow 5,000 pounds, so I should be fine. And that's the way a lot of folks reason on those kind of things. And I told him, no, just because it says you can doesn't mean that you should, and you're really pushing it to the limits. It doesn't necessarily mean because it has that kind of tow capacity that you can do that. Now, I'm not going to get into technical stuff and all that kind of stuff, but generally speaking, as a general rule, most folks recommend that you want to try to keep the weight of your trailer roughly. And here again, you're going to say, how do you know you're there, Bill? Because you don't know how much your trailer weighs.
That's right.
But you want to try to, I just know that I am, and I'm going to tell you, and I've told you that already because I weighed everything as I went, and I feel like that my estimates are fairly close. But you don't want to take a rig that's rated to tow 5,000 pounds and hook 5,000 pounds onto it, because there's other things that come into play. For instance,
here again, that's dry weight.
Exactly, and that's what I'm getting ready to get to here. When you look at a commercially available RV and they show you the weight of it, and man, you're looking at, hey, this is a 28-footer and it only weighs 3,900 pounds. I can tow that easily.
And you can. Dry.
Yeah. As long as you do that.
It's kind of like when we moved from house to house,
yeah.
And I'd have a box, and I would fill the box because it fit.
Yeah.
And Bill would complain.
Yeah. She'd say, go get boxes. Well, she could fit like 20 books in a box, like this. And she didn't have to pick it up. And she thought, hey, I can fit them in there, so it's got to be okay, right? Then I go to pick it up, and I say, dear, and that's the same principle
Same
here.
principle involved.
Same principle here.
Just because it fits doesn't mean it should.
And, we already talked about this. This jacket alone weighs almost 3 pounds. Now, imagine after you purchase that trailer that only weighs 3,900 pounds, you can easily add 1,500 pounds to that, loading it up. And another thing, they'll show the tongue weight, and you go to putting all that stuff in that storage compartment that they have in the front of the trailer. Most of them, they'll brag. They will. I don't want to use the word brag. They will.
Well, it is cool.
Yeah, it is cool that you have
storage.
this large storage compartment. 'Cause most of them, will have the bed in the front, running north and south. And then when you have these big old hatches on either side, you've got these huge storage compartments. And man, just think about all the stuff we can cram in there.
A lot of stuff in there.
And all of a sudden, your 300-pound tongue weight becomes 700 pounds. It doesn't take very long at all for that to happen. So, the general rule of thumb, like a lot of people try to say, is try to keep your towing weight within 50 to 70, 75% of the towing capacity of your rig, just for the cushion. And then, of course, you've also, not only do you have a towing capacity rating on your vehicle, you've also got a gross vehicle weight rating on your tow vehicle. And then there's another rating which includes what you would be hauling in the vehicle plus the weight of the trailer. And here again, I'm not going to get real technical about all that stuff, but all those numbers are available to you to look at on that. But just try not to think that just because you have something that's rated to tow 5,000 pounds that you're going to be able to hook 5,000 pounds onto it and buzz down the road. A lot of people do it. I personally would not. That's all there is to it. Now, because we have the tongue weight that we have, of course, we added a load leveler hitch to our trailer and our to the tow vehicle. Now, our van is rated to tow 9,990 pounds. But we also haul a ton of stuff in our van. Everything that we have,
it's our garage.
Everything that we own is either in this trailer or in the van. Yeah. And when I took the photos of the van, I could have straightened it up a little bit first. It looks kind of...
oh my goodness, you're showing photos of the van?
The way everything's crammed in there.
Okay.
But, somewhere in that photo, there's some kayaks buried underneath all that stuff.
Yeah, somewhere.
But anyway, the point is that... and I think the van's also rated to haul a little over 2,600 pounds. And now I do have 5,000 pound airbags on the back, which I use in conjunction with the leveler hitch. And my leveler hitch, back to that, my leveler hitch is rated at 1,400 pounds tongue weight and a 14,000 pound trailer. I did a little overkill there, and I did it because I wanted to. Just to be on the safe side. But anyway, one of these days we will get our trailer weighed. I will start asking these questions on future walkthrough videos if they happen to know how much they weigh. But if you're asking these questions because you're trying to figure if your rig will tow it based on what your towing capacity is, and if you think that they say their trailer weighs 4,500 pounds, and your rig is rated to tow 5,000 and you think you'll be okay, I would say rethink that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, if that's the reason why you want to know this. And back to this again, these trailers also are much lighter, it seems. The commercially available RVs are much lighter, it seems, because, let's face it, they build them lighter. They use much, much lighter materials on the inside. How do I say this and be nice?
Just like you just said. They build them out of a much lighter weight material.
So yeah, they're going to be lighter because of that. But I do know that I've seen a lot of videos of accidents involving commercially available trailers, and I've even come up on a couple myself in the last several years, and they basically just disintegrate in an accident. So anyway, that's that on that. Don't know what else to say.
Enough on that topic.
And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of
That's okay. We
feedback.
want comments.
We do want comments.
Comments
we want,
and share. That would be awesome.
But back to that again about our particular trailer. And usually when you get it, and ours has the extended tongue. Now when you go to the extended tongue on, say, the 16 footers and the 20 footers and above, it'll be a triple tongue, and the frame of the tongue and the frame rails running down the side will most likely be a 2x6 tubing, a heavy duty 2x6 tubing frame rail that runs down all the way down the sides of the trailer. And also, that's what makes your tongue. What I'm saying is the chassis on these is going to be really, really stout, because they are typically made to haul heavy stuff inside as a cargo trailer. So they're going to be stouter. They're going to be heavier. Our trailer weighs almost as much as a comparable commercially available RV completely built out of the same size. You go in there, you look at a 20, technically they would call this a 25-footer because they go by tongue length. They're going to weigh, this thing weighed 3,200 pounds before we started our build. And a typical commercially available RV will weigh, somewhere between 35 and 38, ready to hook on and go. You just got to load all your other stuff in it, and that's the way that goes. I'm going to catch a lot of heck over this video.
Oh, well. You got big, broad shoulders. You can do it.
I can handle it. We will get our trailer weighed, and I will start asking those questions.
We want to wish all of you a very happy holiday season.
Yes, absolutely.
And we really, really, really appreciate you watching our videos.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, we've said this before. We'll have little pop-ups along the way. But please give us a thumbs up if you feel like we warrant one. On this
or a
one.
thumbs down if you don't like it.
Well, but you can't. There's no thumbs down available now.
Really?
Yeah. You don't realize that?
I guess I never paid attention.
Yeah. And, subscribe.
Yes,
we're going to have a lot of interesting stuff to show you. We're going to start documenting our travels from here on out.
We're fixing to head south.
Fixing to head south, and we'll keep you updated on campgrounds we visit along the way. We're going to stop and visit with a few friends along the way. We'll try to post as much content about that as possible, and we'll do a walkthrough video now and then along the way. And then, of course, we're getting excited again about the
spring
rendezvous in a little campground just outside of Fort White, Florida, February 20th through the 27th. And the campground is booked solid. So
and we're excited
that is very exciting.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to that. Anyway, y'all take care. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures, and you know exactly what we're going to say. We're not living.
Yes, we are. We are living.
We're not.
Take two.
We're not camping.
We're living.
Y'all get out there and do some living. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.